I miss your touch. And by touch, I did not mean a kiss or even a hug. Just maybe a playful stroke of the hair, a gentle squeeze of the shoulder, a pat in the back, a tap on the forehead, a brush of fingertip. That's all. A brush of fingertip. I said, people all thought that we were a couple. You remained silent. I don't need a goddamn justification because I know our relationship better than anyone. But you were so close, yet so cold. I looked down to my hand. I wish you would hold it briefly, even just for a second. It should be enough. I wish so very hard. But you didn't. In retrospect, I could have asked, can you hold my hand? I could have asked. But then that wasn't the point, was it? I feel like in no position of asking more every time I see your face. Yet I have so little.
When I first saw you, it wasn't love at first sight. It was more like, hey, how's it going? We became friends and had our own lives. Never did I think we had so much in common. One day, I began to notice you more and more. I began to see how you really were. You wanted people to think you were one thing, but I saw through it. You were kind. You were misunderstood. You were in the need of love. Going against what my brain was thinking and going with my heart and soul, I decided to pursue you. People judged, gossiped, and outright hated us. Trying to pull us apart, they were almost successful. The fear in us, the what ifs, the why are we doing this, swarmed our minds. No matter where we went, it followed. The fear, like a greedy, greedy monster, engulfing me, crouching me.
Sometimes I stare inside myself and try to figure out how I can kill my inner core. There are days when I wish to remove myself from myself. Start fresh. Anew. Mop myself clean and start over again. Keep the same outer shell, but with new inner meaning and purpose. Sort of like an upgrade to an old program that doesn't function as well as it should because it's outdated. I desperately need to upgrade my system, but there is no way for me to clean out my inner core. It will always remain. The remnants of my past and the wires that have rusted and gone awry, they will always stay in place. You can never disconnect from your past self. We may try and act like we do, but deep down, we always carry the same software.
Fear will never go away. It will always rear its ugly face around. But the fear is different now. I've come to accept it and at the same time dread the idea that one day you will be gone. This fear makes me feel weak, and there is nothing I can do to stop it. Maybe the only thing I can do is make most of what we have now and prepare myself for the future, whatever that may be. Love is a scary part of life. The best and the worst is brought out of love. And I felt that I would rather be scared. I would rather be scared than broken for the rest of my life. And now I feel whole, being held together by glue. Most likely there will be cracks in this love, in our love. But the glue will put it back together again and again. Maybe I fell in love with the abyss. Every sound, every effort, every painstakingly composed smile fell into the darkness. No response. When she smiles at me, I see everything in her eyes. The sunset on the Aegean Sea, the warm nights in a bus station, fireworks across the darkest night. I see everything. Everything but me.
I don't know. Am I too greedy to ask for more? I don't know. Am I too greedy to ask again? I don't know. I don't know. I don't know. Tell me. I don't know. I don't know. I don't know. I don't know. I feel like it's my fault to fall in love with you. I feel like it's my fault to fall in love with you. I can give you my loneliness, my darkness, the hunger of my heart. I am trying to bribe you with uncertainty, with danger, with defeat. I didn't understand. He was sitting on the stairs and the most beautiful shade of streetlight just cast through the trees and shaded onto his face. And I was standing there thinking, how have I ever seen something so beautiful? And then his voice broke the night. Let's break up. It also breaks my heart. I am troubled, perplexed, and defeated. Now I remembered so painfully the fever of his touch, because I do see that person that I love, but his passion has died. Everything has died. He wasn't the last straw. He was the broken oxygen mask in a plane crash. My eyes reflexed with tears when they touched his sight. Then it broke.
We are experiencing pressure loss in the cabin.
Then it went down.
Please wear your oxygen mask and stay calm.
Then it crashed.
Brace! Brace!
Then it burned.
Sorry.
How familiar. Sorry. He said sorry too, didn't he?
Finally, we broke. Pieces of us were scattered around us. Trying to put myself back together, I felt I was unsuccessful. And of course I was, because I needed one last thing in my life. You. Started to think about being with you, made me feel scared. The biggest thought was the idea of breaking apart again. Everything is a ceiling, and there's nothing out there. Do you not see it yet? I'm a fucking atheist in all places. I don't believe in God. I don't even believe in love. I don't believe in the greater good. I don't believe in any material pleasure. The only thing the only belief that I hold is that there is no meaning in anything. Even that doesn't really matter.
I do not miss him anymore. But something in my body, a mechanism that is complicated, intricate, yet primitive beyond belief, could not agree. There are so many people here. They are screaming, laughing, hustling with plates and forks, trying to find a seat in the lunchtime canteen. And a whistle of cologne hits me straight in the heart. And before I realise it, I already turned around. He walked in, plugged in, walked across the entire canteen, the entire world. Or there was that time just in front of the library, and I swear this is true. I was frantically finishing a paper, and in the middle of a paragraph, in the middle of the sentence, and in the middle of the word, and in the middle of writing a letter, I just happened to turn around at that moment. Because he walked out the glass door at that very second. I don't even know that he was walking out before I turned. I just did. He was the only spark that started a spectacular chemical reaction in my body. My senses burst out in a dream of fireworks, and yet my heart burnt to a charcoal. How I loathe him with all of my heart. But how the rest of my cells so desperately seek.
Your mind travels to so many places and everything is fine. Until you realize you're alone. This dagger of loneliness stabs you right in the heart. You have no one to talk to. And even when you are talking to someone, I mean, of course they listen, nod and smile and all. They don't hear you. She doesn't hear me. Everyone's asleep. Is there something wrong with me? Something utterly, terribly wrong with me? I think of sex every 30 minutes and think of suicide every other hour. I ruminate on words I said 3 years ago and on micro expressions someone made last night. I really can't manage to breathe properly half the time. And can perform basic human functions like eating or sleeping correctly. Can't eat without throwing up. Can't sleep without having a nightmare. So I returned to my room. My beautiful room. Trophies and souvenirs. Trinkets of my life. Where I travel to far-flung, exotic places. Rooms full of histories. Or rooms that have nothing at all. Doesn't matter really. Simply do the same thing. I turn off every light in the room. Pull up a blanket. And make myself invisible. Invisible to this world. Also to myself. I've thought so much that the big black blanket is now suffocating me. So tell me, is this darkness safe? Dangerous? Safe? Or dangerous?
Last night, I asked him, "Can you hug me one last time? Please?" Please. As humble and desperate as I could. He shrugged, indifferently. Fine, if that is truly what you want. That touch I would have died for. The arms that locked into my body, that breath which probes my soul. Then, in 10 seconds, It's like I finally woke up. The air no longer fills with white noise, and the colour is no longer pixelated. The body no longer in a state of vegetation. My heart calms down. It goes immensely slow. And it dies. It was a feeling that I once knew too well. When he hugged me, it reminded me of the last time I kissed my father. So close, so familiar, and yet so cold. I kissed him on the cheek like I would do every night. Yet I did feel so sharply that life has died. That bonds have broken. And that everything has ended. Now I understand. It ends. Yo no la quiero, es cierto, pero cuánto la quise.